Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Everyday School Day with the Butterfly Princess. Today we are discussing lecture 14 of the course called Jesus and His Jewish Influences, taught by Professor Jody Magnus. Today we're going to be discussing lecture 14 in the series, lecture 14, which is part of the 24 lecture series, and this lecture is called The Dead Sea Scrolls Earliest Hebrew Bible. So let's see. Dead Sea Scrolls, fascinating subject. These ancient manuscripts have a rich history and hold great significance in understanding early Jewish and Christian texts. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a collection of about 950 manuscripts discovered between 1947 and 1956 in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea, hence their name. The scrolls were found in a region called Judea Desert, and their discovery was one of the most important archaeological finds of the 20th century. The scrolls contain a variety of texts. 1. Biblical manuscripts. Portions of almost every book of the Hebrew Bible providing insights into textual variations and interpretations. 2. Biblical text. Non-biblical texts. These include secretarial writings of the Essenes who possibly authored them. Their rules, beliefs, and communities of commentaries on biblical texts offer a glimpse into their worldview. Apocrypha and Pseudepigrapha writings. Texts that are not included in the canon of the Hebrew Bible, but were considered significant at the time. Pesharim, a truly intriguing aspect of the Dead Sea Scrolls. These interpretive texts are a unique component of the scrolls collection. Here's a little glimpse into them. So, what are Pesharim? Pesharim is the Hebrew term for interpretation or commentaries, specifically applied to biblical prophecies in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Pesharims reflect the Essenes' perspective on prolific scriptures. Content. The text offer a commentary on prolific books of the Bible, such as Isaiah. The authors of the Pesharims believe that biblical prophecies were being fulfilled in their times, correlating historical events with the scriptures. They often interpreted the prophecies in light of their community's experiences, insights into their worldviews and concerns of the Essenes. It shows how they thought their lives and events around them were woven into the divine narrative. What are apocryphal texts? The term epigraphy refers to writings which are not part of the standard biblical canon. Yet these texts were valued in particular communities for their religious, historical, or mystical significance. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls, these texts were quite apocryphal texts were quite prominent. Content and significance. The scrolls contain a variety of non-commercial works. 1. Jubilees. The This reinterprets Genesis through Exodus, subdividing the narratives into Jubilee's period of about 49 years, offering chronological interpretations in Onic literature. Texts attributed to Enoch delving into themes of cosmology and judgment. The Book of Enoch opens into imaginative realms depicting angelic hierarchies and visions of the future. Testaments, such as the Testament of the 12, where each gives wisdom and prophecies to his descendants. These texts provide rich insight into the theological diversity and Gnostic beliefs of the time, reflecting ideas and traditions that existed along mainstream Jewish thought. Opposite to apocalyptic texts. While apocalyptic texts, like some of those found within the Dead Sea Scrolls, depict grand visions of the end times in divine judgment, their non-counterparts focus on earthly concerns, practical ethics, and immediate spiritual or communal life of the individuals. Some examples: community rule. Rather than anticipating apocalyptic events, this text outlines the guidelines for living together in harmony with spiritual discipline. It reflects ideas about purity, justice, communal structure, and logistic practices. Wisdom texts and legal writings. Like those found in Proverbs, these focus on living wisely and the law rather than cosmic upheavals. They offer guidance for ethical behaviour and wisdom for everyday challenges. Psalms, like thanksgivings, these hymns express personal piety, gratitude, and spiritual interpretation without delving into visions of the end times. So, who were the Essenes? So, the Essenes, a mysterious and intriguing group. The Dead Sea Scrolls give us a window into their world, their beliefs, and their way of life. So, who were the Essenes? The Essenes were a Jewish sect during the Second Temple period who lived during the time of the historical Jesus. They were known for their communal living, ascetic lifestyle, and strict adherence to religious laws. Their thoughts have lived by the Dead Sea and where the scrolls were discovered. Dead Sea Scrolls and the Essenes. Several scrolls are attributed to this group, offering insights into community rule. One of the most famous texts believed to illustrate the organisational structures, rules, and daily practices of the Essene community. Their emphasis on piety, discipline, and communal support reflect their ideas. War Scrolls. It describes an epic battle between the Sons of Light, with the Essenes, and the Sons of Darkness, giving insights into their apocryphal beliefs. So I'll put that into my more context for you. Basically, the Essenes believed that they were the Sons of Light, and when this big war came, that would end the world, that would bring the world into chaos, they would fight against the Sons of Darkness. The Sons of Darkness would perish, and only the Sons of Light, the Essenes, would survive after the world ended. Manual of Discipline. This reflects their moral and ethnical communities, commitments, showcasing their spiritual rigour and devotion to their path of righteousness. So I'm going to tell you about an author's work called Vadim Kam's work on the Dead Sea Scrolls. Chapter 2, Survey of the Manuscripts. This chapter offers a descriptive overview of the various types of manuscripts that found amongst the Dead Sea Scrolls. It includes insights into categories of text, such as biblical manuscripts, secretarial writings, and other diverse documents. These showcases the breadth of material from scriptural interpretation to community guidelines. Physical aspects. Discussions might touch upon preservation challenges, the condition of the scrolls, and the of analysis used to date and study these texts. Discoveries and locations. Reflects on where the scrolls were found and the implications these locations have on understanding the Essenes' lifestyle and environment. Chapter 4, The Scrolls in the Old Testament. This chapter delves into the relationship between the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Old Testament, focusing on biblical manuscripts, highlighting texts that align with known biblical texts and others that differ, offering insights into the total textual variance and transmission of biblical literature. Scriptural interpretation, detailed exploration of how the Essenes interpreted biblical texts, revealing the unique theological perspectives and practices, impact on biblical studies, discussing how these findings have reshaped modern understanding of the Old Testament's development and its historical context. So who were the Qumran sect? The Qumran sect is widely believed to be the Essenes, although there isn't definitely proven. They lived in the Qumran community near the Dead Sea. Their lifestyle, rules and beliefs are glimpsed through the Dead Sea Scrolls. Insights provided by the Scrolls Community Organisation. The community rule offers a comprehensive outlook on the communal life, detailing regulations, initiation rites, and in a hierarchical structure within the group. It reflects a strict rules for purity, daily routines, and spiritual discipline. Apocalyptic worldview. Texts like the War Scroll depict beliefs in an celestial battle, illustrating the view of themselves as participants in divine cosmic events. This presents their anticipation of an ultimate triumph of good over evil. Biblical interpretation. The sect had unique interpretations visible in communities in commentaries on biblical texts, reflecting how they perceived their place within a broader religious history. Manual of discipline, highlighting moral and ethnical inner laws. It conveys their emphasis on strict adherence to religious principles, reflecting a deep commitment to spiritual purity and communal integrity. And that now that concludes this week's episode of Every Day is a School Day with the Butterfly Princess. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you can join me next week for next week's episode. But until then, have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye for now.